Welcome to Opinion Journal. I'm Mary Kissel. House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Dave Camp is unveiling a very big tax reform proposal today. You can check out his op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. Why is this reform so important and how might it impact you? I've got the Heritage Foundation's chief economist, Steve Moore, a former colleague of mine, joining me now from Washington. Steve, man, this tax code is complicated. 75,000 pages of code, 5,000 congressional changes since '01, more than 2,000 forms. I mean, we spend a lot of time and money preparing our taxes. How did it get this bad?
You know, Mary, I've been waiting for this day for 25 years, so I'm a happy guy today that finally we've got a Ways and Means Committee chairman who wants to kind of rewrite the tax code. You know, you're right. The question you asked is, how did it get so complicated? Here's the story. Back in 1986, President Reagan and Democrats in Congress and Republicans got together, cleaned out the stables of the tax system, lowered the tax rates, got rid of a lot of the deductions and loopholes and carve-outs in the system. It was a very strong reform that was pro-growth. But you know what's happened over the course of the last 3 decades? Year after year, Mary, the Congress has put in all those loopholes again, all of the special interest carve-outs, and the thing is more polluted now than ever before. You mentioned the complexity. The average American has to use a professional tax preparer to do their tax returns, and it imposes huge compliance costs on the economy, but the bigger cost is the cost of just not having a competitive tax system.
Yeah, Steve, can you elaborate on that a little bit more? Because when you talk about preparing your taxes, I understand that. I hate it. It takes days to prepare the taxes. But connect that to growth. Why is this tax so important? Reform is so important to broader growth.
Well, look, what you want with a very sound tax system is you want a tax system that does not penalize people on virtues for the economy, like saving and investment and entrepreneurship and work, right? And then you also want a tax code that has relatively low tax rates so that it is not having kind of a confiscatory and distributional effect that is negative for the economy. Now, I'll give you one example, Mary. As you know, you've written on this, the U.S. has the highest corporate income tax rate in the world. That doesn't work anymore. That destroys jobs for America, and it sends jobs to other countries that have more favorable tax treatments, like countries like China and Japan and Germany and so on. So what I want to see done is get those tax rates down as low as possible so America is competitive with other countries, so we bring more jobs here.
Now, Steve, we're still going through the details of the Camp proposal. He's having a press conference this afternoon. What are you going to be looking for? What are the hallmarks of a good reform, past what you said about lowering the rates?
There's a lot of what I know about the Camp plan, and we don't know all the details quite yet at this hour. You know, it's a step in the right direction. It simplifies, so most Americans in the middle class who are watching this show, you're not going to have to itemize your deductions and keep all those receipts in the cardboard boxes with all of the stuff, because you know what? You can just take the standard deduction. You don't have to itemize. You can use the one-page EZ form. And by the way, even the EZ form isn't that easy. But in terms of lowering rates, it's a good system. It lowers rates on the corporate side to 25%, on the individual side to 25%. You know, there's something I don't like, Mary, though. He has a 10% surtax on rich people. Now, this is a Republican. Why do you want to play that class warfare game? That raises the rate to 35%. That's not much lower than the rate we've got already.
Well, it's a good question, Steve, and I'm sure we'll be weighing in on the editorial page. You should tune in tomorrow. I think we're going to have a segment that digs into more details. But for now, Heritage Foundation Chief Economist Steve Moore, thank you so much for joining us.